This is the most realistic drum VST I've ever tried in my entire life. This is the new BFD 3.5 update. If you think you've already seen this video from me, you have. I've noticed a few things by people replying in the comments, so thank you for filling me in and also from watching other videos. Some features that I missed and also some things that I had issues with that are actually, there are fixes for, so we'll go through that. Without further ado, let me show you what this drum kit sounds like while I rip off Meshuggah for about 13 seconds. So let me just clear the air. I was sent this plugin for free. I am not getting paid to make this video. I have positive things to say. I have a lot of negative things to say. I love the sounds. The user experience is a bit rough. Let's jump into it. Whether you like it or not, it looks the way that it looks. Something about this just feels like I'm using like a little drum pad. Realistically, it's all about how it sounds. So off here, we just have all of our presets. If it's not showing for whatever reason, we just click this arrow right here. And we have first all of our presets, as you can see here. Double click on one of the presets and it'll load up a whole custom kit with whatever they've set up. And usually there's some sort of groove loaded. So if you press play here, that's pretty cool. And then we can switch to another preset. I know a lot of you are metal musicians since this is mostly a metal channel, but these are amazing for if you're doing like hip hop or if you're doing rock or literally anything that requires some sort of realistic sounding kit. I've quite literally never heard a drum VST that sounds this real. So say you really like this drum kit here, but you just wanted to add like a few more drums. Say you 3 toms isn't enough. You want to do like a Neil Peart kind of style kit, rest in peace. You just go into here, we add a tom, add a mid, add a high, whatever, and there it is. You click on it, but we can just go into the drums here. Select tom, and then since I'm putting whatever, say I want to put a high tom, you can click on tom again and then go to high. The first thing that I really don't like about this plugin is super annoying that I can't just click on it and hear it. If I click on it here, one issue that I had with the plugin, and to be fair, it was like the smallest issue that I had with it, is that when you're in here and you click on it, it doesn't play, you have to press Alt or Option depending on if you're on Mac. There is a fix where you go to options here, and you just go audition when clicking drum, and then now you can just click on it. That's pretty cool, but you still, I couldn't find in the manual. I went through the manual and watched other people's videos afterwards. I couldn't find a way to do the same thing here. You still have to alt click, which is fine. And here within the, whatever this is called, there's a lot of little things in this VST that really annoy me. I trust me, I'll go over them. We have this one selected. Let's say we want that one. We just click it there. And now we have, another thing that I didn't realize is that you can actually just drag and drop a snare, say here. Do you want to add a snare slot? And then it adds a new snare. That's pretty cool too. What's kind of cool about this is that if you're clicking more towards the left, it'll be like a lower velocity hit. And then towards the right are the big beefy boys. You can just click on the snare here and then go next kit piece. And that will give us the next snare. Next pick. Let me just go through some of the kicks that I have at least. These are the 2 metal kicks that were given to me within the pack that I have, but they have tons and tons of options. So you can see here, there's like one that's like signature snares specifically. There's one I saw that is specifically metal snares. Look at that. We got the Metallica album. James looks quite different though. Mostly rock ones. And then let's go through some of the snare options, and again, like you can tell just, they're recorded so well. We can also link drums, which is awesome if you want to get like 2 different sounds. So what's typical with mixing is you have like your live recorded kit and then you'll sample, say the snare or the kick with something else. So if we just go into link right here, we can link 2 different drums. And what you want to do is take the one that you've already set up. So for me, it's the snare here, and then just drag it over here. Once you're done with that, you have to go back to select. When you hit one snare, it'll play both of them. Let's go back to the kick here. So if we press this arrow here, we have our typical blend. So we have our kick in, our kick out, and our kick sub. Very cool. Let's say you wanted to route it into your DAW. It's very easy. All we have to do is go down to here where it says kick, and we can go say mono and go mono 1. And that's just for my kick in. I'm gonna go super bare bones with this one. Let's just go the whole kick channel. I'm gonna go to mono 1. And then as you can see in Ableton here, all you have to do, let's say this wasn't set up, click on where it says BFD, because that's the track that has all the MIDI information on. Go to post mixer and it's mono 1. And now when I hit the kick, I've already done this with a kit that I curated, so I'm just gonna load that kit because it's a bit of work. What's interesting is wherever you click on here, it'll actually sound different. Listen to those rooms. I really like this kit. It just sounds so real. It's insane. If you're going for that real sound, there's no other plugin that you can get this kind of real sound with that I've tried. I've tried a bunch of them. I haven't tried all of them, to be fair. We have this section here, which is our Ambient Mics. If you click on it, it'll give you all of your individual mics. And this is really cool because now, not only do we have our individual like shells and cymbal hits that I have routed to different ones, kick, snare, rack, floor, hi-hat, ride, china, mono room mic, overhead, ambient room, and room mic. So real quick, let me just show you what like the ambient mics sound like. So we have this mono room mic. I love this sound. We have our overhead. Ambient. So right now we have it set to our mono room mic. We also have a mono overhead. And again, you all have to go into each drum and just make sure that they're turned on. Another mono. A compressed mic, I guess? And then a secondary compressed one. And then we have an ambient mix. What's really cool is we can now blend in how much of the snare we want into our rooms. And what's also awesome is like say, so here really I'm only using the overhead, the room, the ambient, and the mono room. So we don't really need these, we can turn them off completely. But you can now send your snare information to any of these options, which is really cool. And control how much of it's coming through. So when I was dialing in the room mic, let me just show you with like say, yeah, the ambient. I like the sound of the ambient. Same thing with the room. That is really nice. I love how customizable it is. Super cool. I just wish some of the other things were a little easier. For the mono room mic, I'm actually using the effects in here because I just wanted to see what they sounded like, and I liked them more than what I was actually getting out of the plugins I was using in my DAW. I think because I'm using those same plugins on other tracks, and it all kind of just started to get sonically a little bit too similar. So after the kit, we now have our effects. So what's really crazy is that BFD has like every kind of plugin that you can imagine built into it other than auto-tune. You can see we click on the effects, we have dynamics, we have gain, 3 different compressors, envelope shaper, distortion, noise gate limiter, and then we have like extra craziness. And let's say you go into distortion, you also have different presets. So on the snare here, another way to view the effects is down here as well. So on my snare, you can see there's all these options already put on them. I've just muted them by pressing this button here. or by individually going through. But just know that you can like temporarily power them off. EQ, we all know what an EQ does, but let me just show you real quick with a distortion or something. There's different presets as well. So I think if you're someone who doesn't have tons of plugins and you're just looking to get the best quality drums, either realistic or just like a really good mix of drums, I would say look no further, like get BFD, because the amount of effects that it comes with, I don't even know, like that's like $1,000 worth of effects. Let's put a flanger on the snare, why not? So super detailed. Like I said, most drum VSTs are just like, here's the raw samples and then here's what I did to process it, which is cool because they usually sound pretty good. But like the fact that you get, I would say like around $1,000 worth of plugins in this plugin, it's a no-brainer. And let me just real quick solo the snare and the kick, and you're gonna hear something that not all drum VSTs do, and I wish that every single one did, especially for creating real drum tones. We have cymbal bleed and we have kick bleed, and depending on what you want, you have that bleed too. I know this isn't new and like plugin companies have been doing this, but it's so nice because the drum VSTs that I've been using the past while don't have a bleed option, which is like, why not? Why not? Come on. Don't make me get my uncle out here. So as you can see over here, we have a secondary. If it's not showing for whatever reason, you can click right here. We have another panel here. And we have 3 different options here. We have our tech, which is kind of like our specifics when it comes to the drum. And this is where we can see the bleed section. So counterintuitively, this would make it seem like this is the amount of kick that's coming into the snare mic, but it's actually, this is the amount of snare that's going into the kick. And we're on the snare track. While we're at it, another thing that pisses me off so much is that when I'm clicked in here and I press spacebar, it doesn't play in my DAW. Maybe this is an Ableton thing, but it's just like, it's the little things that it's just like every 5 seconds, there's one of these little things that's stopping me from being creative and doing something that I'm trying to do. I don't understand it. Why can't I just press spacebar and it plays? I have to click here to play it. You see this? And then again, the return here, it would be the amount of cymbal bleed coming in. Go here. Same thing with the toms. You know, we have the option for the amount of toms that's going into the kick and the amount of snare. They've gone into so much effort to really let you customize everything and make it perfect. Tons of cymbals. You know, I can go through all of them if you want. All the ones that I have. 2 Chinas. 3 Chinas. So really we have 2 Chinas that are usable for metal, which is okay with me. I mean, we have the Oriental, which is like the classic China, so we're good. But if you want to do a left China, right China kind of situation, I mean, this is the one that I have. You can obviously buy a pack that has more. I wish I could just click off and just have this stop. But I click off and it's just like, do you want this? And I'm like, no, I don't. It sucks because there's just, I'm literally getting agitated right now because it just sounds so good and there's so much potential with this plugin. Let's go back to something that's cool here. The interesting thing is that you can assign hotkeys by making whatever custom hotkey you want. So say effects, you do E in here. I don't even know how to do this. Let's try it. So you have to click enable keyboard support and then you have to click learn and then press whatever you want. That's pretty cool. That's like a really nice feature. I don't really know too much about the BFD ecosystem or how much people actually use the grooves as opposed to draw the MIDI in themselves. But, you know, if you're not too comfortable writing drums, it's cool to have these options. I personally will never use it. I know it sounds like I'm being like a little bit of an asshole. It's just like, I want people to use this because it's honestly my favorite sounding drum VST I've ever used in my life. But it's like the little things in it are what's stopping me from, like, I might just use a different plugin, to be honest, because it's stopping me from being quick. Realistically, I want them to sound good. And then secondly, I want them to be quick. And sometimes if I'm writing, like, quick's gonna take the cake. So you can also load your key maps or your drum mappings that you would use from whatever other plugin you're used to, say GGD. I can't think of any other one right now. I'm flustered. Easy Drummer, General MIDI, whatever you want. So I ended up just kind of going with the GGD one and messing with it from there. So let's say we added a new cymbal, but it's not showing up on our MIDI when we click it here or something. All we have to do, let me add a new, let's say kick, whatever, who cares, right? Doesn't matter. You can see it's not playing. So to get it to play, that's that kick right there. We're gonna go into our key map here. All we have to do is right click and then go start MIDI learn, and then just click whatever MIDI note you want. So say B-0, and you can see B-0 set. I can go next, no snare, sure, A-, whatever that means. So now we have that kick set up. So yeah, again, down here we have our faders. This is where we can choose our panning. Double click it, it goes back to normal. You can double click to go back to normal, but you can't undo. Volume, if you want to change your volumes. And then we have our effects. Similar thing to our effects here, it's just a different view of it. This is more of like a pedal board, this is more of like a DAW. Here you have all your sends, so if you wanted to sidechain. Last over here we have our tweak section. I guess it's like really similar. It's just like we have our trim. You can tune the snare, so let's say... It sounds really realistic. I've definitely used some other drum VSTs that the tuning does not sound realistic or even slightly usable. What's really cool is we have a damping option as well. And then in the model, I haven't really messed with this very much, but this is where we can really dial in the damping and our envelope. We get our attack and sustain, our choke response, and it's cool that we have tom resonance as well. One thing I didn't realize until later watching Taylor's video, you can also add your own samples, which is strange because if you're clicked on kits, that option isn't there. But if you're clicked on drums and you go into the file, you can now see import samples. And this is pretty cool if you want to import your own. I am making a sample pack and I'm just gonna put in one of the samples, a snare sample. This is the destination that they're gonna go to. So it's gonna take it from wherever you have and put it into somewhere that BFD can recognize, which is kind of cool. It's gonna be a snare, let's say, and let's go snare demo, whatever. Go into here, we press the plus sign, and then I'm just gonna import whatever. Now we have it in here. We press play. For some reason, I don't get any volume out of here. I'm not exactly sure why. But if you were to have, say, a multi-sampled snare, you can add a bunch of different ones in here and it'll actually recognize those velocities depending on the order that you have them in. I'm only going to import one and treat it like it's like a single sample. And then I'm just going to click import. And then now down here, I have snare demo. So who is this plugin for? I would say anybody in the market for a really actual real sounding drum kit. And to have the options of blending in this many mics. No other drum VST that I've tried has had this many options that you can really customize your sound and use just like quality recorded drums. I don't only do metal, so I'm gonna be using some of the other kits for whatever other kind of songwriting sessions I have. I really like this. So who this isn't for, I would say anybody who wants to just download a plugin and use it right out of the box and it's super like user friendly and intuitive. This plugin is the exact opposite. I may have said this earlier, but I almost bailed on making this video like 2-3 times because I got frustrated learning it. It's just like there's so much to it and the little things. Like one thing that pisses me off, probably the thing that pisses me off the most about this plugin, there's no undo button. There's no Command Z. You go into here, there's no undo unless it's somehow hidden. It's just like who I've mentioned it in many reviews I've done before. I hate when there's no undo button. If there's no undo button, I'm almost not going to use it because the amount of times I need to A/B something, turning something on or turning off, it's so quick to do Command Z or whatever the hell and Command Shift Z, like undo or redo. I'm getting mad again. Sorry. I'm getting mad again. I need another banana. In BFD's fairness, like no contact ones have an undo as well. And I hate that. I hate that so much. Every time I want to try something new, or the most annoying thing, let me tell you, the most annoying thing, when I was setting up my custom drum kit, I accidentally double clicked on one of the presets. There goes hours of work. There goes hours of me making my custom kit because I accidentally clicked on one of these presets that was like a funk kit, and it's like, obviously that's not going to work in metal. Why can't I just press one button and go to what I just had? Oh, okay, hold on, I need a second. Another thing that person pointed out that didn't really have anything to do with me having an issue with the undo button, but it's a valid point to point out, is that if you are in the presets menu and you double click on something like I did by accident, it does prompt you to say, are you okay with losing it? But unfortunately, where I lost it was I wasn't clicking on the presets, I was on the kits. When you double click on the kit, that doesn't prompt you at all. I'm sure there's an option maybe somewhere to also ask you to okay it, but I just want to point that out, that out of the box, it's just like, there's some weird choices. There's so many choices that some of them are just like too weird that it's just like, I feel like, I don't know. It could have been a little bit better. So yeah, I don't know. If you only care about the sound quality, I would say buy this one because I also really appreciate that it's modular. I love modular kits. ML Sound Lab, they do the whole modular thing and I absolutely love it, and it's a breeze to use that plugin. But I would say it doesn't give you nearly the options that you get from here. For instance, you can't separate snare top, snare bottom. And this one is just like, this is everything that I want. It's just the user experience is terrible. So I don't know, if there's something that they can do in an update to fix the user experience, I would say everybody should get this, but right now I'm gonna say only people who care about quality get it, and if you are the type of person where speed is really important, don't get it, because this is not a quick plugin. Thank you so much for watching, and I've never experienced this swirl of emotions while making a video before, so if you found any use in this, please let me know down below. If there's things about this that you wish were different, let me know down below, because they asked me to make this video, they sent me the plugin beforehand. So they're probably going to be watching this. Just do the things, the likes, the subscribes, the hate, the love. I'll see you next time. See ya.